What is going on, FA Nation? John Bembe here with your MLB DFS Playbook preview for the Wednesday 6-game early slate. Of course, we'll have a playbook and a live show here to breaking down the main slate a little bit later on today, but who doesn't love a little day baseball here on a Wednesday? And again, 6 games kicking off the day here, starting at 1:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Appreciate you all tuning in. If you haven't already hit that like button, click that thumbs up right there on the screen. It is a free way to support everything we do here on the Fantasy Lamb YouTube channel. And again, hit that subscribe button so you get notified whenever we go live. We do live shows breaking down the main slate on DraftKings every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Let's waste no time jumping into this 6-game main slate here. Looking at the pitching position, we got Garrett Crochet at home against the Washington Nationals at $9,600. You got Michael King at $8,800 at home against the Colorado Rockies. You got Robert Gasser here at home against the Pittsburgh Pirates at 86. Brian Wu at 84 and Alec Marsh at $8,000. Those two facing off against one another. If you're taking a look here at the top options, it's going to be Michael King. We're going to go all over this matchup against the Colorado Rockies. Dylan Cease was your chalk pitcher there on Tuesday, and Michael King now coming off of 13 scoreless innings, which included an 11 strikeout, 7-inning shutout against the Los Angeles Dodgers. King here, we know the upside that he has, the potential. He was a key arm brought back in that deal for Juan Soto going from the Yankees here. We're starting to see some of that upside here. You know, when we're taking a look at Garrett Crochet, he certainly had a bit of a rough stretch there, but has bounced back nicely over his last couple of starts here now. Last 17 innings, just 3 total earned runs, and we always know the strikeouts are going to be the calling card here for Garrett Crochet. Again, former first-round pick, turned into a starter here this season for the White Sox. Now you're going up against the Washington Nationals. This is a team that has historically not struck out. They are a tougher offense because of the amount of balls they put in play here. You know, just a 21% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching for the Nationals. But then go ahead and take a look at the rest of their numbers. Pretty bad. They ranked 26th in WOBA against left-handed pitching. They ranked 24th in batting average against left-handed pitching. We know they don't often bring too much power, just 22nd. So you take Garrett Crochet's 30+% strikeout rate, you mix it in against a bad Nationals team, and well, we may not see double-digit strikeouts here for Garrett Crochet in this spot, but we could see 6-7 strikeouts in a performance that he goes and dominates. So top 2 guys there, certainly. Take a look at Robert Gasser, made his debut the other day against the Cardinals, 6 shutout innings for him. Top 100 prospect in baseball right now. Gets called up, fabulous start in his debut, gets home matchup here against the Pirates. O'Neal Cruz is obviously starting to heat up, which can make that Pirates lineup a little bit more dangerous. But overall, you know, we haven't been too afraid of that Pittsburgh lineup this season. They ranked dead last in isolated power against right-handed pitching, 29th in WOBA here. And when taking a look at their team's strikeout rate, 10th highest strikeout rate. So Gasser himself potentially looking in a pretty good spot. I'm not really in on Brian Wu. I think it's kind of weird to me. Now, 4 1/3 innings, 1 hit allowed, looked pretty good in that start against Oakland, but he left due to forearm tightness. And apparently that was something he was dealing with during his rehab starts. They obviously didn't seem too concerned because they let him come off the IL and pitch, but I don't know. We got to trust a guy that might be having some forearm issues. Again, he had to leave that start against Oakland early due to those forearm problems. He only threw 62 pitches. I'm not going to pay $8,400 for a guy that might be hurt or might be limited, even if the Royals really haven't had a great offensive output here in a little bit. On the other side of that matchup, you have Alec Marsh here, the righty. Has surprised us with some strikeout numbers at times this season. And obviously Seattle continues the highest strikeout rate in baseball at 29%. Looking at their numbers overall, not very good. 24th in WOBA against right-handed pitching, and an ISO 19th in isolated power numbers. So you could potentially see Alec Marsh there at 8K. With it being just 6 games, I don't really find too much obvious value that I'm going to be looking to go for here. Again, you're not going to go Corbin, Rogers, you know, not really going to target Gomber, Casey Mize against Miami, maybe Brandon Pfaadt against Seattle. We've gone over the numbers here. Cincinnati against right-handed pitching, also not very good. If you want to just take a look at their overall numbers, 28th in WOBA against righties, and their batting average against right-handed pitching has them ranking dead last. 152 ISO has that sitting 11th. So they hit for some power. They strike out a little bit, 27% strikeout rate, second highest in baseball against right-handed pitching. Brandon Pfaadt, we like the talent. 3 straight games of at least 6 innings, over 6 innings now, and 4 or 5. No strikeouts though against Baltimore. That's pretty ugly. A random 11 strikeout game against Seattle. Again, Seattle leads the league in strikeout rate against right-handed pitching. Cincinnati's right below them, so maybe there's a bit of a possible ceiling here for Brandon Pfaadt. If you're trying to take a look at maybe some underlying numbers for him, are there any indicators that maybe he's gonna, pop out of this a little bit? Again, looked good in the playoffs for them last year. ERA 4.6. His expected ERA 3.36. His xFIP 3.67. So definitely some potential numbers there suggesting we could see Brandon Pfaadt really start to go on a run. So maybe take a look at him here against Cincinnati. But that's probably it for me. My mid-tier guys will be Marsh and Pfaadt. Up top, we'll go Gasser, King, and Crochet. Moving on over to the catcher position, we always say just find the cheapest guy and go. Luis Campusano against Austin Gomber, get the lefty power bat. Gabriel Moreno against Andrew Abbott, $3,500. I could certainly see myself potentially going there. Arizona, one of the best teams in baseball against left-handed pitching this season. Gary Sanchez certainly has some power. So again, we'll see where we go with this, all depending on who's going to be the value catchers in the lineup here for this early slate. Moving on over to first base. Again, this is where I think it starts to get a little bit interesting. Just given the smaller slate size, you see Salvador Perez as your top price first baseman, obviously has that catcher eligibility, really having himself a fine season, 322, 928 OPS. I don't really want to go with the Royals offense here, because Wu was still effective, but if you find yourself possibly looking at him, he would be certainly a candidate for you here. I did mention the Arizona Diamondbacks, their team numbers against left-handed pitching. Number 1 in baseball in WOBA. Their 183 ISOs third. Their batting average is number 1 at 308. So you got Christian Walker here, $4,900 against Abbott. I know it hasn't been the greatest season for Walker so far this season, but the power is there, and he's a guy that has hit left-handed pitching really well. Connor Joe is another guy that hits lefties really well. Not a ton of power necessarily in this bat here. Does at least have 5 homers already on the year, 866 OPS. If you're not in on Gasser, maybe give Joe a look. But again, after that, it really doesn't, on a smaller slate, not much else down here. So you might just be looking to plug in Walker and move along here. Maybe pass Cantino as well if you wanted to potentially build a lineup there. Let's maybe build a lineup as we go. Definitely going to go King. Let's go King, and we'll take a little bit of value here with Pfaadt. So like, is this 4,200? We'll do a value catcher play here. You've been playing a lot of Grandal, but I don't think I'm going to go there. Let's go Gabe Moreno for now. Actually, Campusano. Let's go Campusano against Gomber. $4,200 a play. First base, Christian Walker. Second base has Ketel Marte, obviously a great spot for him. Michael Massey's there. Bryce Terang is a lefty, so won't do that spot. Garcia's lefty. Blaze Alexander has been struggling a little bit here, but does have that righty-lefty matchup there. Joey Ortiz maybe could be in that lineup. It's not bad against Martin Perez, $3,200. Let's go. I want Marte, but I feel like this may really kill our salary. So let's plug Marte in. If we have to move around, we will. Third base, Machado, McMahon, Garcia, your top 3 here. Machado certainly could be in play against Gomber, but that's a big price tag. Rojas, if you're not going to play Marsh. Eugenio Suarez gets the matchup against Abbott at 4K. Not terrible price tag for there. Senzel hits lefties pretty well. If you're not a believer in Garrett Crochet, not an awful price tag for him there. They can play Ortiz and save some money. So let's do that. Let's do Ortiz at third. Gets back up over 4K here. Now at shortstop. Ha-Seong Kim against a lefty. O'Neal Cruz is lefty, so probably won't run that one out. Let's go Ha-Seong Kim. 4,100 gives us an outfield spot here. Again, other shortstop. Again, we mentioned Blaze Alexander. Paul DeJong, maybe. You know what? That's not terrible. The power's been there. Patrick Corbin matchup. Let's do that. Let's go Paul DeJong. We'll save $4,400 now. Top price outfielders: Tatis, Yelich, Steer, Riley Green's lefty. Carroll's lefty. Lourdes Gurriel, for as bad as he has been this season, his numbers against left-handed pitching actually are still pretty elite. Again, overall on this year, pretty dreadful. 235 batting average, just a 293 weighted on base percentage. Just some really ugly numbers after a guy that got off to a ridiculously hot start. If you go look at his numbers against lefties this year, he's hitting 373 against left-handed pitching, a 428 weighted on base, a 216 ISO, a 588 slug. If you're going to just start sort of mixing and matching your times that use Lourdes Gurriel, a lefty is probably going to be it. Again, those numbers are elite as they come against lefties. Against righties, just to put into perspective, just a 230 WOBA, 108 ISO, a 513 OPS, a 170 batting average for Lourdes. Pretty gross. Let's continue to work our way down here. 4,350 for two more outfielders. Any value that we can take advantage of down here? Let's see. Gavin Sheets is lefty. Grichuk at 34 potentially. Again, just kind of tacking more in on the Arizona team here. That might be the cheapest guy. Let's see what Randall Grichuk's been up to this season. I know the numbers haven't been all that spectacular for him, but let's just check in on the splits and see if he's still handling the lefties here for Arizona. Splits tool, always over on Fangraphs, the Bible here. Against lefties this year, hitting 308, isolated power number for Randall Grichuk. Terrible, actually, just 103. But hitting over 300 against him. So, making contact, but not a ton of power for Grichuk there. But that would give us some much needed value to kind of spend up at that spot there. Let's see. What else do we got down here? Melendez. Edward Olivares is someone that's hit lefties pretty well. Frelick is lefty. Don't want to go Jacob Young. Oh, let's go Eloy at 39, and that gives us a 4,800. So that'll give us DeYoung and Eloy Jimenez. $4,800 for an outfielder. Let's go Profar. Profar's been pretty good, obviously. So there's an example lineup for all you guys. And again, that gives us with $500 left over. Michael King, Brendan Pfaadt, Luis Campusano, Christian Walker, Ketel Marte, Joey Ortiz, Paul DeJong, Lourdes Gurriel, Eloy Jimenez, and Jerkson Profar. Getting a little bit of a Diamondback stack there, a White Sox stack, and a Padres stack. Spending out for King and going into the mid-tier with Brendan Pfaadt. That's your 6-game early slate. Again, we'll be back live at 4 p.m. Eastern time to get you all ready for the main slate. Until then, everybody, good luck with your research. Get us in that Discord if you have any questions, and we'll catch you all later.